Hello everybody, and welcome back to the channel. We've got an article here that we're going to go through, so let's jump to it. We'll read it together and then we'll offer a few comments afterwards. As you can see here, the title of the article is Japan's largest security token platform moves nearly $3 billion to Avalanche blockchain. So Progmat was originally developed inside Mitsubishi UFJ Trust and Banking, Japan's largest bank, before being spun out. It develops security token infrastructure that accounts for 64.6% of Japan's security token market total issuance value. So the article begins here. Japan's dominant digital asset issuance and management platform, Progmat, has completed its migration to the Avalanche blockchain. According to a recent blog post, Progmat moved its entire security token platform, including all active tokenized assets worth over 452 billion yen, which is about $2.7 billion, from a private permissioned ledger based on Corda 5 to a dedicated public Avalanche Layer 1. Rather than a straight swap of one ledger for another, Progmat redesigned the underlying architecture so the platform is no longer tied to any specific blockchain, making it easier to facilitate a multi-chain platform as requirements evolve. The blog dated July 10th reads, "All existing smart contracts were ported to EVM without changing the behavior or specifications of any live project, and financial institutions continued operating normally throughout." It continues. The most tangible result, rights transfer processing, is now approximately 3 times faster than the pre-migration environment. The migration, first announced in February, finished on schedule with zero disruption to the financial institutions using the platform. Progmat was originally developed inside Mitsubishi UFJ Trust and Banking, aka MUFG, Japan's largest bank, and spun out into an independent company in October 2023. It is heavily backed by major Japanese financial institutions including Mizuho, the Tokyo Stock Exchange, and SBI. By moving to Avalanche, the blog claims Progmat's rights transferring process is now 3 times faster with finality in under 2 seconds. Progmat dominates Japan's security token market with about 53% of the market share and 64.6% of the total issuance value, according to the blog. This includes the majority of tokenized real estate and corporate bonds in Japan. By moving from a closed domestic-only system visible only to Japanese financial institutions to a public EVM-compatible chain, the blog notes Progmat's assets are now more readily open to global participants and interoperability with the broader blockchain ecosystem. According to the blog, Progmat launched a tokenized government bonds and on-chain repo working group in May with asset managers, banks, and securities firms to examine tokenized Japanese government bonds. The group is reportedly studying the impact of 24/7 trading and same-day T+0 settlement for Japanese government bonds. So that's the article right there, and in conclusion, in summary from what we've just learned here, it's actually several exciting things. The first would be that, as you can see, 3 billion is quite a lot. So that's the first really great success, is that you have pretty much the largest bank in Japan that is focusing on security token infrastructure, and as opposed to staying on a ledger, as you see here, a private permission ledger based on Corda 5, it is now migrated and shifted over to a dedicated public Avalanche Layer 1. So that's really very high end, and for people who are familiar with EVM, Ethereum virtual machines. And then as you can see here in the middle, it notes that 3 to 5 times faster than the pre-migration environment. So the rights transfer processing is quite fast. And then the other interesting thing, other than the fact, of course, that you have basically a lot of overlapping interest, including Mizuho, which is technically a direct competitor, let's say, the Tokyo Stock Exchange, which is in the best interest of all these banks domestically in Japan to offer this type of trading, because, of course, the stock exchange itself needs to stay quite up to date. And a large percent of actually this Tokyo Stock Exchange is not going to be equities. It's going to be ETFs or bonds or other type of instruments that are not equities. Okay, so this certainly these securities are one of those. Now, the other thing that's really interesting to see here is this final paragraph. Okay, so what is really the focus and what is really the future sort of direction? It's very clear here from this last few sentences. As you can see, it launched a tokenized government bonds and on-chain repo working group in May, which is a few months back, with lots of asset managers, lots of banks, and a lot of securities firms, which are trading stocks, to examine tokenized Japanese government bonds. And tokenized Japanese government bonds, whether tokenized or now still not tokenized, is a big market cap instrument. Okay, Japanese government bonds are purchased and sold by institutions all over the world. So asset managers, maybe even sovereign wealth funds from other countries. And then this is the final sentence is really driving home the point for a lot of people who are working in finance that this is really kind of the crux of the matter. 24/7 trading, which has become sort of the precedent set by crypto versus traditional equities, and then ideally T+0, so same day settlement. So as you can see here, 3 to 5 times faster, but if it could be settled the same day, so within minutes, hours, as opposed to more than 24 hours, or perhaps going from the end of one week into the beginning of the next work week, which is multiple days of just sort of waiting, now you're able to get basically better price action or better pricing in general. So that is the conclusion we can draw from this exciting article. We've been covering Japan a lot on this channel. And it seems that there's just more and more really great developments when it comes to some of the largest players in Japan. All right, so as we like to share with people at the end of our videos, info@cryptodeposit.org. You can just email the team at info@cryptodeposit.org if you wanted to be onboarded or if you wanted some sort of white glove treatment. We'd be happy to assist. But once again, if you wanted to connect your wallet, you can use our partner platform, Crypty. Go ahead and work with that. Otherwise, of course, MetaMask, which many people use. I can use here MetaMask. Many types of wallets. All you got to do is connect. You would then scan in, and of course you can deposit cash. You can use a card, many types of card. You can use wire. And then, of course, buying stables. If you wish to get USDC, if you wish to get USDT, this is going to hopefully expand our options. And then, most importantly, depositing stables. So if you want to deposit USDC, if you want to deposit USDT, you can get as little as 7 days, all the way up to 5 years. And then the yield curve, of course, is adjustable over time, the percent of that yield curve. And then once again, if you've connected your wallet, you can see your bills. Everything is not only on your wallet, which is self-custody, but it would be displayed here. If you have any transactions or bills pending, everything would be on-chain it would appear as an NFT. So you can act upon those NFTs, or you can transfer them, send them to different wallets. And then, of course, borrowing and lending protocol, you can use your tokens as collateral to borrow stablecoins. OTC, in case there are people out there, some of the people that we want to work with are doing large ticket deals above 50,000. Okay, and then you can just submit a request for proposal, get that right away. And then last but not least, again, you'll have your statements if you've connected your wallet. If you'll have XMTP secure messaging, some of the most secure technology in the world, end to ends. And then, of course, activity history, and then exchange and swap. So exchange and swap, you can USD pool, European Euro pool, Ethereum chain money, others USDT, USDC, and then swap if you wanted to swap different chains, different types of assets, up to you. And then there's a white paper if you want to read the white paper, or you can watch that video on our YouTube channel. So with that being said, wishing everybody a wonderful day, wonderful afternoon, wonderful evening, and we'll see you again soon on another video coming up shortly as we continue our focus on stablecoins. We continue to focus on regulation and all these developments in the industry that we are working in here from cryptodeposit.org. Have a good day, everybody. See you again soon on another exciting video from all of us at the team here. Have a good day.